Hi, I'm Ms. Fung. Let's graph quadratic equations of the form y equals x minus a, x minus b. In other words, the x-intercept form. Example 1, y equals x minus 2, x minus 4. Here we have a equals 2 and b equals 4. We're going to be looking at the y-intercept, x-intercepts, axis of symmetry, and the turning point. Let's have a look at the y-intercept. That happens when x is equal to 0. So let's sub that in, and we get 0 minus 2 and 0 minus 4, which gives us minus 2 times minus 4, which is 8. So the y-intercept is 8. We can see a quick way to work this out. We notice that if we multiply a and b, so 2 times 4, we could get that y value really quickly, 8. 2 times 4 is 8. So instead of doing this working out, we're going to find the y-intercept by substituting in a times b. So that's our new formula. To find the x-intercept, we sub y equals 0 into that equation. So now we have that equation, and x minus 2 equals 0. So moving the negative 2 to that side, we have x equals 2, and x minus 4 is 0. So x is equal to 4. Or in other words, 2 and 4. And we can see another pattern here. We notice that the x-intercept are simply the values of a and b. So we're going to use this formula. A is 2, see the x-intercept is 2, and b is 4, and the x-intercept is 4. So we're going to use these, so make sure you try and memorize this. For the axis of symmetry, we know that it happens in between these two values. So how do we work out in between 2 and 4? We know that it's 3. But how can we use a and b to work that out? That would be the average of the two. So a plus b divided by 2, which gives us 3. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And for the turning point, well, we know that the x value is the same as that of the axis of symmetry. So if we have the x value, we can sub it in to find the y value. So sub 3 into the equation, we get y equals negative 1. So not much of a shortcut for the turning point. Now this is a local minimum because it's a positive graph. So let's sketch this. So the y-intercept is at 8, the x-intercepts are 2 and 4, and the turning point at 3 and negative 1. Let's put a smooth curve around that. Double check. So see, when we multiply 2 times 4 to get 8, it gives us the y-intercept. The x-intercept are given to us right there, 2 and 4. And the axis of symmetry is right in the middle of those two values. So the average, 2 plus 4 divided by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. And lastly, the turning point happens at the x value is the same as that. And we have to sub in to find the y value. So let's practice using all these shortcuts in the next example. Example 2, y equals negative x minus 1, x minus 5. Here we have a is 1 and b is 5. And we also notice that it's a negative graph. So we do that little symbol so we can remember that it's a negative graph. So let's try to use what we found in the previous example to find these 4 things. For the y-intercept, we multiply 1 and 5 to get 5. But because it's a negative graph, so there's a negative in front, it becomes negative times AB, it's negative 5. For the x-intercept, that's just a and b, so 1 and 5. 1, 0, 5, 0. The axis of symmetry is in between those, so 1 plus 5 divided by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is x equals 3. The turning point is the axis of symmetry, the x value, and then the y value is by subbing it in. So subbing 3 into that equation gives us 4. So that's the turning point. Now we can sketch that. So here we have the 4 points, the turning point, the x-intercept, and the y-intercept. Put a line through that and we have our graph. Example 3. This time we have to factorize to get to that form. So what two numbers multiply to give negative 5 and add to negative 4? 5 minus 1 is 4, minus 5 plus 1 is 4. So minus 5 and 1. So our a is negative 1 and our b is 5. Be very careful that a is negative 1 because of that formula there. So now we can work out our y-intercept, x-intercept, axis of symmetry, and turning point. So the y-intercept, again, all you have to do is multiply these two. So it's 0 and minus 1 times 5 is minus 5. The x-intercepts are given to us, so minus 1 and 5. And the axis of symmetry happens in the middle of these 2 points. So minus 1 plus 5 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. And the turning point, so we copy the x value for the axis of symmetry for the x and sub that into the equation, we get the y value to be negative 9. It is a positive graph, so it's going to be a local minimum. So let's sketch that. So we have the turning point, the x-intercepts, and the y-intercept, and after that, draw a line through it. So in summary, this is called the x-intercept form because it gives us the x-intercepts. Have a look at these formulas and try to memorize them so you can use them more fluently. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!